So it's a goal, a worthy goal. It's also a commandment. We're told to honor our mother, right? But beyond just saying the words, how can we show up and support our first and arguably most important female relationship? Well, with Mother's Day on our minds and the calendar, we submitted that question to a woman and mother we all love, admire, and look up to. Cy Foster is joining me for a chat in the chair today as opposed to behind the kitchen counter where we usually get to learn and love her. It's great to see you.
It's great to be here.
I said don't get too cozy coming in without food and props. But
it's very easy to come and just sit in the comfy chairs.
I think women feel this from you, though, Cy. You are so steady and measured. You carry a lot of life experience with that wisdom and great light. And so I'm really eager to learn at your feet and to soak up this idea of how we might better honor, better support our moms. It's sort of an angle that I think is underexplored. And assuming you're going to reference your own mama in the next few minutes, will you introduce us to her? Tell me about her.
Yes, my mom is, her name's Sayo, and she's Japanese. She was raised in Okinawa, and she was raised by a single mom, and her dad passed away when she was really young. There were 7 siblings altogether.
Wow.
Including her.
Wow.
She had 1 brother, and then the rest were girls.
She's a strong woman.
Yeah, she's the youngest of all those girls.
She's the baby. Yeah, are you alike?
So we
you and your mom?
I think we are very much alike. I'm a lot like my dad too, but my mom really, she loves food, she loves nature, she loves family. So I think we do share a lot of the same likes.
As we consider that phrase, honor your mother, and you were so gracious to take on this topic and this question for us, but the word honor, we sort of passively say it, we might quote it in church. What does that mean to you, to honor someone?
I think it means when I think about honoring someone, I want to do things to, just to show them in a good light, to really, I think when I think about honoring my mother, I want to do things that really will make my mother feel good about herself and about her family and what she's done, how she spent her time, raising children.
It sort of reflects a graciousness and at the core a gratitude, right? A gratitude for no one gets it perfect, no one gets it right all the time, and we'll get into that, but there's a gratitude there for this role. One thing you think we can do to better support and honor our moms is to spend time together doing what she loves, not what I want to do, not what I hope we'll do together, but what does she really want to do?
Right, yeah. My mom and I spend a lot of time together. When I go visit her, she lives in the Seattle area, and I usually try to take her to do something that she loves. So recently we went to go see the tulip fields up in northern Washington, and we've done that several times. This year we hit it just right when everything was blossoming. And my mom just loves nature. She loves parks. I've taken her to Red Butte. We go to national parks. Yeah. She just really enjoys being in nature, appreciates a beautiful sunset. So I try to take her to do things. I really love going to the beach and just playing in the water. But my mom is, interestingly, she grew up on an island, but she really doesn't like the water, getting in the water. So when I take her to Hawaii, we spent most of our time in the car going to see sights.
Because you knew that's what she wanted to see.
Because that's what she loves, yeah.
You say we can honor our moms by allowing her grace and allowing her room to grow. Right.
So I think a lot of us, nobody sets out to be a bad mom or dad, right? There's no instruction manual that comes with being a parent, and I think we just can look at our mothers and forgive them for the things that they, where they might have made mistakes or missteps, and just realize that we're all trying to do our best.
Yes. Sitting in this chair and interviewing experts and therapists and counselors and psychologists over the many years, I've seen a shift, and I don't know if it's a legitimate one, this is just my observation, but it seems like that therapy work, that personal work is shifting from blame the mom and figure out how she messed you up. It's shifting to let's just start where we are and move forward. And I hear you saying that, and the forgiveness and in some way it is what it is.
Right.
And accepting that and moving forward might be the best thing for both people.
Right. Just, you know, allow yourself and your mother some grace.
Yes, I love
and
that.
Just know that she's doing her best.
Give your mother permission to live her life and cheer her on. I love this. You felt this personally.
Yes, definitely. So, I mean, I think mostly about this, my kids and Grant have been my biggest cheerleaders with my blog and, you know, with this whole little hobby that took on a life of its own 15 years ago this year. But really, the incident that I think about, or the happening in our life where I feel like our kids really gave us permission to do something that we really felt strongly about, was when we decided to serve a mission. You know, we left in January of 2020, and we knew, I mean, we had unmarried children, and we knew we would be having grandchildren. And so many times people come to me and say, well, I could not serve a senior mission right now because I can't leave my grandkids. And I try to tell kids that are our kids' age, you know, give your parents permission to do that, because it's going to be such a wonderful experience for them. Mm-hmm. So give them permission to live their lives and to, you know, encourage them and support them in the things that, now that they've raised you, in some passions that they might have too.
I love that. I think it's great advice. You encourage us to recognize and celebrate our own mother's heritage. I see you do this through the foods you make with your mom, the foods you eat. And finally, I love this last point, Sai. If you want to honor your mother, cultivate and work at your family relationships. This sort of, just reading those words kind of strikes a tender chord. It's a work that's worthy. Right,
it is. I mean, I think my mom taught us when we were really young. She said, when you grow up, your friends will all go away. It will just be you and your brother. Mm-hmm. And that's what's most important, is your family. And she tried to teach that to us. And whenever, you know, my brother and I have disagreement about something, I try to remember that. I try to remember, you know, my mom will be gone someday. And really, to honor my mother, the best thing that I can do is just try to promote that relationship, to nurture that relationship, and to really listen to the words that my mother taught me, that there's nothing more important than family.
Well said, Sai, well said. Thank you so much. We are grateful for your wisdom and your example. And if you have a few more minutes, we aren't the only ones who are grateful. Take a look at this clip, okay?
One of the things my mom taught me about motherhood is that mothers sacrifice for their children. And she taught me this by example, because when I was about 10 years old, I started playing the piano competitively. And my piano teacher said, you cannot play on this rinky-dink upright piano that we had. And so my parents, and my mom specifically, sacrificed so much so I could play on a Steinway grand piano. And I know for a fact that she drove a beat-up, rusty old Land Cruiser for years beyond what she was planning on, so that I could play on that Steinway piano. And I'm so grateful for all the sacrifices she made for me. And I love you, Mom.
My mom loves to tell the story about when she was a young mom and she was in the grocery store wrangling us kids when this much older lady stopped her and smiled and emphatically said, "These are the best days." And even though we love to laugh about this story, especially now that I have kids of my own, when I look back, I notice that my mom really did make them the best days. She did so many things daily to make each day special, like leaving notes in our lunch constantly, or making sure we knew all the best 70s songs. And our occasional weekend dates to Crossroads and ZCMI with lunch made me feel so special. Thanks for making those the best days. I love you, Mom.
You're passing on that honor through your beautiful girls. Thanks for letting us do that.
So
do you need a
sweet.
tissue? Let's get Sai a tissue.
So
we love you, and so do they. Thank you very much.
I love you too.